So there's a issue that's going on right now amongst some former NBA players. I'm not sure if you're tracking it, but it's this feud between Kwame Brown and Matt Barnes, and God, I can't think of the other guy because Matt Barnes has a podcast, and I think it's called something like The Smoke or something like, or Bring the Smoke or whatever the case might be, and these two guys were on with Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, geez.
And they started kind of bashing Kwame Brown in his career.
Okay.
It was very interesting because Kwame Brown, for those of you who don't know, 20 years ago was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Ended up playing for the Wizards during Michael Jordan's last year. Michael Jordan was 38 years old when he was playing.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan came from a very different era.
Yeah.
And the rumor was that Jordan broke him from the very beginning, and he was never able to reach any of his potential because he just, couldn't handle it mentally. Couldn't handle it mentally. Jordan broke him.
Yeah.
Spent some time in the NBA, and he just kind of faded out, and he is known as being a bust. Okay?
Yeah.
What people don't know is that he actually made a decent amount of money. He actually was able to kind of take care of his family. He was actually able to be a good, decent human being. And by any stretch of the imagination, he would be a success story given his very checkered, tough past and background growing up.
Yeah.
That has now come out on social media.
Yeah.
And
a bust in the NBA. Hey, I'd rather be the last guy in the NBA.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I mean?
First round draft pick, bust.
He's a bust. Okay. Well, hey, I made it here.
So this is you're getting to my point. Kwame Brown, you haven't heard him say anything for 20 years. He's been ridiculed, been talked about, been trashed for all this time. And when I tell you Kwame Brown brought the smoke,
he got back.
It's so inappropriate and not PC. I wouldn't recommend anybody watch it.
Wouldn't tell you to actually look at it, but yeah.
But when you talk about the messenger matters, so Stephen A. Smith, who I like,
I love Stephen A. Smith.
I think he's hilarious.
I like Stephen A. Smith more every year.
Stephen A. Smith, he's a ESPN
and he's authentic
broadcaster. He's been doing this for a very long time. He's very good. He's a lot of respect in the industry. He has been ridiculing and talking trash about Kwame Brown for like 20 years.
Kwame Brown?
Yeah. You know the deal. Here's the thing. I feel like Matt Barnes can say something. I feel like Gilbert Arenas can say something. Why?
I know where this is going.
Well, because they played in the NBA, they played the game. They've had a relatively successful careers. Like their ridicule and their critique is one thing. Sometimes people like Stephen A. and actually those guys too, you need to be careful with who you ridicule and kind of what comes out of your mouth and how you do it.
Yeah.
Because now that Kwame Brown is now responding and really putting all of them on blast.
Yeah.
I find it to be very interesting because usually the person that gets ridiculed just takes it and goes away and bows out.
Yeah.
But it's all good and fun.
Till the rabbit got the gun.
Till the rabbit got the gun.
Hey.
Your dad used to always say that. It's all good fun.
Till the rabbit got the gun.
And so now Kwame Brown is taking shots at these guys and their personal lives.
Oh, yeah.
Because his argument is you're coming at me talking about my basketball career, which was my life.
Yeah.
But y'all talking about basketball, and y'all have real life problems.
Wow.
With your families and your relationships and this.
And I've been quiet, and you're not seeing that stuff on my life, and your stuff has been popping up everywhere.
But you want to come after me.
Yeah.
So what I find really funny is a podcast that's called Bring the Smoke or All the Smoke or something like that. The guys that host the podcast are apologizing to Kwame Brown.
Interesting.
Because they don't want the smoke.
They don't want the smoke. Not anymore. Not anymore. Well, and you bring up a couple of really interesting things there, because it's just so interesting how this whole conversation still circles back to the Fourth Estate and the press, right? It circles back to Stephen A. Smith gets paid handsomely to commentate and give his opinion about sports, right? And so there's an interesting piece of him doing that, commentating, giving his opinion about sports. Now, would it be appropriate for him to talk about the success of somebody's NBA career or not? I mean, it's totally in Brown's for if somebody that he's trashing their career. It's like, well, you didn't make it here.
Whoa. See, usually nobody says that, though.
That's totally in bounds. But
Totally.
You're right. I mean, and part of that, perhaps maybe the reason why people don't say that is it's a victim mentality.
It's a victim mentality. Mm-hmm. Messenger matters in sports. It's like Charles Barkley. It's like Chuck.
Oh, yeah. You'll never be a champion, Chuck.
That's why you'll never be a champion, Chuck.
That's why you'll never be a champion, Chuck.
Shaq.
Go ahead, big fella.
Shaq just is relentless on that point. In fact, we can have Shaq sitting here right now talking about the messenger matters. Anytime Charles Barkley says anything about a championship mentality, he gets shut down immediately by Kenny Smith. And Kenny Smith is...
Yeah.
Okay. Kenny needs
we're Houstonians, okay?
We know. We watched Olajuwon.
He was a role player on that team, okay?
Okay, Kenny has a couple of rings, but
yeah,
Keem Olajuwon was.
And once again, messenger matters. I never played in the NBA, but I watched a lot of those games.
I tell you what,
if you take Kenny Smith off that team, we might win a championship. You take Olajuwon off that team,
zero chance.
No, we're not going to the playoffs.
Zero chance. And you have a guy like Shaq, who has 4 rings? 3 with LA, one with Miami.
Yeah.
He has 4 rings. And 3 of those, he was the MVP of the finals for 3 of those when he played in LA. Unstoppable force. So when Chuck brings up, anytime he brings up championship caliber player, this, that, immediately Shaq's like, well, you've never been a champion, you'll never be a champion, you never won anything. And just lights him on fire.
Because the messenger matters.
Because the messenger does matter.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that Charles Barkley can have an opinion?
No.
Of course not.
He can have an opinion, but the messenger still matters. Right?